That is a lot. I have all the details and how this information could impact Social Security. Also, they've extended it, therefore, take advantage of it. Again, I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. As information is changing very rapidly right now, I am your one and only daily advocate. I'm doing all the research so that you don't need to, and I break it all down into these short videos so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire each and every day as this information is being released. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the update. Alright, so I do have a couple key pieces of information that I do want to walk through in this video, because I do know that there's a lot of you here living on a small fixed income, like Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, a lot of seniors, elderly, people with disabilities, and a lot of Medicare beneficiaries as well, including Medicaid beneficiaries right here in this community. Therefore, a lot about what we're going to be talking about in this video directly relates to you, so I want to make sure that you know what is actually going on. One of these stories that I'm going to talk about in this video actually may directly impact Social Security in a pretty big way. I just came across this report, and honestly, the numbers are huge as it pertains to all this. I'll talk through the details here in just a minute. However, I do want to talk about also what they just extended and what this actually means for those of you that are fixed income beneficiaries, especially Social Security and Medicare as well, and all of those encompassing. So let's get into it and talk about all of this. So first off, just a couple days ago, at the end of the day on Friday, the Public Health Emergency Declaration was supposed to be expiring. However, a couple days prior to that, they came out and said they were going to be extending the Public Health Emergency Declaration for another 90 days. Good stuff, right? So as of right now, the Public Health Emergency Declaration is set to be expiring in mid-July. Because they extended it out 90 days, we're good to go until about mid-July. However, they did also mention that within 60 days of that expiration, that they would be giving us a notice if it is actually going to be expiring. So about 1 month from right now, we should be getting an announcement out of them to let us know, is it going to be extended? Is it going to be expiring? What is actually going on? If we don't get an announcement, we can anticipate that it'll probably be extended once again. However, now that they've extended that out, that actually does allow for additional privileges for those of you who are low income and fixed income beneficiaries to actually take advantage of a few things that are actually available to you as a result of the Public Health Emergency Declaration still in place. Because here's the thing. A lot of the rules that are out there right now are hinging on the Public Health Emergency Declaration in place. Once this thing expires, a lot of things end spontaneously, like boom, done, it's over. So, therefore, as long as this is still in place, we can take advantage of a couple cool things out there. So, number one, I want to throw this out there. Now, to stick with me, I'll try to make my way through this really quickly here. I know that some of you may not care about this, but the deal is I want to make sure that you know about what is out there for you and what is available to you. All right, so about a month ago, CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, was out in an announcement and let us all know that starting as of about a month ago, Medicare will now start covering COVID tests as you walk into maybe like a pharmacy or something like this, over-the-counter tests. They will start covering them as of about a month ago, provided the Public Health Emergency Declaration is in place. If they wouldn't have extended it out, it would have been game over, and we would not have had them paying for them anymore. However, it's been extended. Therefore, if you are somebody who is a Medicare beneficiary, technically, according to their announcements, you can still walk into pharmacies and you can buy over-the-counter COVID tests, and they can actually, and Medicare will actually pay for them. The same goes with private insurers. The same deal with them. They will also cover them, provided the Public Health Emergency Declaration is in place. It's still in place until about mid-July, unless for some weird reason they expire and they cancel it early, which honestly, I don't foresee them doing, but as of right now, it's still in place until about mid-July. So if you have Medicare or you have private insurance or any of these, you can walk into pharmacies and you can buy over-the-counter COVID tests, and your insurance should pay for them. In fact, they'll pay for up to 8 of them. 8. 8 of them per month. So you could test essentially twice per week. I'm not really sure if anybody does that or why we would need to do that. But again, if you want to, that's what they'll pay for. So by all means, if you're interested in this, I would say before you go through the process of buying it and things like that, I would certainly go to the checkout counter or the pharmacy, wherever you do this stuff, whip out your Medicare card or your private insurance card, whatever, and say, here's the deal, here's my card, I want them to pay for it, right? So it's not a reimbursement program. It's not like you pay first and then they will reimburse you. No, if that is the case, please be very careful so that you're not spending a bunch of money on tests and then all of a sudden they say, oh no, just kidding, we're not reimbursing you. We don't want you to do that, right? They should pay for it automatically. No questions asked as of right now, since the public health emergency is still in place. Good stuff, right? Also, one more thing, I'm going to throw this out there. I know that COVID's not really a thing all that much anymore, but again, it's another resource in case you are interested in checking it out. The government, as of about maybe a month or so ago, they announced a new website, covid.gov. It's a one-stop shop for all kinds of different information that you may need to know, as in vaccines, testing, masks, as in you can get free masks, all kinds of different things. Check out that website if you're interested in checking it out, covid.gov. It's a new website. They just launched it about a month ago, and you can see all the details right there. So anyway, this is something else that's out there available. A lot of people may not recognize that this is available to you, and just recognize you can go out there and get these tests, because here's the thing. Sometimes some insurances and things like this are saying, oh no, we're not paying anymore. You know, the whole COVID thing is essentially over. We're not paying anymore. Be careful with that, because if you go in and get tested, those things can be expensive, a couple $100 sometimes. It's very, very expensive. I do not want that to happen to you. Please be aware of all this and check into things. Ask questions before you whip out your card and you start paying for stuff, okay? Please be very careful, because we can get ways to get people to pay for things for us, right? Like I've said before, it's always best if you can get somebody else to pay for everything you need, right? It's like the best of all the worlds, right? Have Medicare, have the government, have somebody else pay for what you need, right? Well, they will do that right now. All right, so let's get into this and talk about some other things that are going on. So here's what's interesting. I just came across this report. I was reading into this and doing a little bit more research on it, and very interesting things that are going on out there right now. All right, so on the theme of COVID, here's the deal. There's a lot of people in the United States that have had COVID. A lot of people, millions upon millions upon millions, tens of millions of people have had COVID in the country. Across the entire world, a lot, hundreds of millions of people, right? Well, here's the thing. In the United States now, they're considering something called long COVID, as in people who have had COVID and then are still suffering from some of the side effects from COVID many, many months later. They're considering COVID as a disability. It is now a disability in the United States. Long COVID is a disability in the United States. However, here's what's interesting about it and how this may pertain to Social Security. There was a handful of lawmakers about maybe 3 weeks ago or so that wrote up a letter and they sent it out calling on Social Security to identify long COVID as a disability. Therefore, because long COVID is a disability in the United States, they're saying, hey, if somebody has long COVID and they cannot work or they cannot perform at the capacity that they once did because of this long COVID disability now, they should be able to claim Social Security disability benefits, SSDI benefits. And I suppose in some cases, if somebody may not be eligible for SSDI, that I would anticipate they would probably be eligible for SSI, Supplemental Security Income, right? Because here's the thing. SSDI is based on years worked, credits earned, and money paid into Social Security, right, through taxes. That is where you get SSDI benefits from. However, if you don't have the work record or you don't have the necessary number of credits or, things like this, you would then be eligible for SSI, Supplemental Security Income. So in this event, it looks like these lawmakers are actually reaching out to Social Security and having them, or working on them, to get long COVID identified as a disability that would allow somebody to start drawing on Social Security disability, SSDI, or SSI, Supplemental Security Income benefits. However, you might be thinking, oh, that's probably not that many people, right? Maybe, 10,000 people? Oh no. No, the numbers are much bigger than that. In fact, this report that I was just reading, according to this report, they said that 7% of adults in the United States are saying that they still have long COVID symptoms. This actually translates into about 18 million people right here in the United States. So could you imagine what that would do to Social Security? If all of a sudden, if Social Security started identifying long COVID as a disability that would qualify somebody for SSDI or SSI benefits, just imagine what that would do. 18 million people suddenly snap your fingers and boom, they could be eligible for SSDI or SSI benefits. That's a lot, right? Because as of right now, according to my research, there's about 8 or 9 million people receiving SSDI. I started looking into it. I saw conflicting numbers. I saw 7.8 million, like 8.2 million, and up to 9 million. So I'm honestly not really sure what the real number is as far as how many people receive SSDI, Supplemental Security, Social Security Disability Insurance. Yeah, that's what it stands for. SSDI benefits. So whatever the number really is, 8 million, 9 million, but just imagine 18 million people snap your fingers and immediately start drawing on SSDI benefits. Would that put a little bit of strain on Social Security? Oh yeah, right? That would not be a good situation in some ways. However, for the beneficiaries that are starting to receive this, that'd be a pretty nice thing, right? For the people who may start to get these benefits. So anyway, as I was reading this report and then came across, of course, those lawmakers that wrote the letter calling on Social Security to start identifying long COVID as a disability, I thought, oh, this is a recipe that could actually result in some major issues for Social Security going forward, right? So anyway, just a couple of quick side notes here I wanted to throw out there. I do know that there are some of you here in the community that have had COVID, and I do know that there are some of you here in the community that are actually suffering from long COVID symptoms. The reason I know that is because I've seen your comments down below, and I've actually had conversations with a few of you that are in this position. It sounds like it's not very pleasant. Again, that's just what I've heard based on what I've actually communicated and what I've read down in the comments section. So anyway, these are the updates that I have for you as of right now. Of course, just like everything, I'll continue watching everything very closely. I don't know. I guess this turned into a COVID type video. But again, at the same time, we got to continue to stay updated with everything going on because as I mentioned previously, COVID is the reason why we receive stimulus checks in the first place. So, it's kind of a love-hate relationship, right? We don't really love it, but at the same time, we can't really despise it all that much because at the end of the day, COVID is the reason we got $3,200 from the federal government in the form of those 3 stimulus checks. So I guess, I don't know. Of course, we don't want it to be around. We don't want to get it. Nobody wants to get it. Nobody wants to suffer from it. Nobody wants to have long COVID symptoms. Nobody wants any of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it is the reason why we got stimulus checks. So again, just saying. Anyway, I'm here to help you out in any way that I possibly can. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. And of course, go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,400 videos right here on the channel. And please remember, I am your one and only daily advocate. You can call me the underdog. You can call me Matt. You can call me whatever you want. Any names you want, I don't really care. But either way, my dedication is to be here for you in any way that I possibly can be. So please enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next update.